first set we played here to open up the festival, a fellow powered this song out, and we never did get to it. He finally came up, and I assume it was the same fellow. He said, "Well, I was glad you didn't do it." I thought at first it was reverse psychology, but he said, "I'm glad you didn't do it because I want you to tell that horse story." And I'll try and make it brief, but this is a true story, and it's about my first real horse. I had moved from Virginia up to Ohio, and I had a little farm, and the house had been built in 1864, and it didn't have no furnace in it. And I was wanting to get a horse, and my neighbors kept saying, "Yeah, but you probably need a furnace first." And the way life turns out, I was able to get both. So I was just out in the barn one day, and this lady drives up and says, "How would you like to have a horse?" I kid you not. I didn't know her name, buddy. And I said, "Well, I've been wanting a horse." And she said, "Well, I'm getting ready to go to college, and I have this horse, and I love this horse so much, and I've been driving past here, and it looks like you keep your farm real nice, and you got this little stream here. And my horse has had to work hard all its life, and I thought it might be a good place for it to come here and live out its life." It had been a show horse, and I didn't really know what that was. And she said, "Here's what we're going to do. The final show is going to be over at the Ohio State Fairgrounds, and I'd like for you to come and see this horse and see if you really want him." And I'd heard too many stories about free horses, but this wasn't going to be one of them, because I went over there. I was rooting around in all the barns of the Ohio State Fairground. I finally come back to where my horse-to-be was standing, and there was blue ribbons and trophies and pictures of him. And I look in there, and here's this golden chestnut horse with a flaxen mane and tail, and he had a real sort of concept about who he was. He'd walk over like this way and look out at the people looking at him, then he'd turn around. He'd look out at people looking at him. I couldn't figure out, I thought, does he think he's that good looking? Because he really is, but I found out a lot of times when he'd do this, people give him a carrot. And the reason I'm doing it now is maybe somebody's got a donut out there. Anyway, so I went out to watch this show, and pretty soon she'd come in and she'd doing this, and the horse was going around, and everybody, and it had on I knew I was going to have to get some better clothes to ride this horse, because everybody in that whole show had a tuxedo on with a really fancy hat and stuff. So anyways, after that was all over, brought the horse by, and I had growed up the grass in the pasture and cut the dam down a little bit on the ponds, water running down through it. And they had told me that this horse had lived all his life in a stall, because his horse business required that he be beautiful every time he turned out. And so he come out, he got out of that trailer, and I had the gate open, and he looked out through that pasture. And then all of a sudden, like the old man wanted to know where the sun come from, he stayed up till it dawned on him. It dawned on this horse that that pasture was for him. And he run out through there and leapt across that stream. And anybody that's ever been around a horse knows what he done next. He got down and he started rolling. And his feet was way up in there. He'd flop over on one side, flop over on the other side, and all of a sudden, he reached over and grabbed himself a big mouthful of grass. And he laid there rolling and eating. And I guess this is today's sermon, because that's my theory. If you get to heaven, you can roll and eat at the same time. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but I have a picture at home. It's my favorite picture of this horse. And it was this. He and his my partner, Mary Dow here, who is a great equitation rider. And I got a picture of her doing the same thing he was doing in that ring, riding that horse. Gold, palomino, chestnut, hair, both of them. And, I'll finish this up because the real part of the sermon is this, and that's what the gentleman wanted. That horse, first thing, you reminded me of Bill Monroe. Anybody got to see Bill Monroe late in life knows that when he went to play Bluegrass Breakdown, he left out some notes, but he still played it at 180 beats a minute. And it all had that great woody tone just like it had when he was a young man. And that's the way this horse was. I taught him to jump, and toward the end of his life, he couldn't jump as high. And so I thought I'd put the jumps down for him. And he just refused. He'd come over, put those jumps up. He didn't care if he knocked them over, but if he left some notes out, but he was still going jumping at 180 beats a minute. And so one day I went out, and he was what they call tied up. Something had happened in his body chemistry, and it was a winter day, and he couldn't move. And I spent several hours getting him back to the barn, one leg at a time. I wish he was here now to get me back to the barn. Anyways, and so a fellow came along and dug him a grave. And the next day, he walked out past all the other horses I had by then, and walked up and stood next to the grave. Go figure. How do they know? He was ready to die. And so when I filled the grave in, I gave him this song. Trouble and trial